Hey, it's always me, Johnny. I don't know if you can hear me because I'm near a small waterfall, but today we're gonna test this OnePlus 9 Pro camera and we're gonna see how it is and if the collaboration with Hasselblad it's a good thing. I'm shooting now in 1080p at 60 FPS, so it has the capabilities to shoot at 60, and now I'm walking so to test the stabilization of the front camera. It's a 16 megapixel camera, so let's see how this phone performs on the camera side. Let's go right into the video. Hey, what's up? It's always me, Johnny, and welcome back to the video. So in this video, as I said before, we're gonna talk about this, and especially we're gonna talk of the camera side of this new OnePlus 9 Pro. And the most important topic here is to see if the collaboration with Hasselblad is a good thing or maybe not. Let's start talk about this phone, and as I do in every video like that, I'm gonna talk about first of all of the photo side and then the video side. But first, let's talk about the camera setup that we have on this OnePlus 9 Pro. So as you can see right here, we have 4 cameras, and actually 3 are useful and 1 is pretty much useless, as you may know, because one of that is just a black and white camera that helps to improve the black and white photos that someone is taking actually. So I don't know you, but if I have to take a black and white photo, I'm just taking a black and white photo with a normal sensor, and then I'm just gonna desaturate the images. I don't know why it's there, but it is there. Maybe for just marketing, but who knows. Anyway, we have, as I said before, 3 useful cameras, and they are the 2 big sensors that you can see right here. And one is the main camera and the other one is the ultra wide camera. And the third one, the third lens, is the tele-lens. Actually, right here we have another strange thing, because we have this lens and there is a 3.3 zoom lens. I don't know why that number, but yeah, you have this lens. Of course, we have also the double flash LED on the back, and we have an ultra fast laser autofocus to help focusing the images before shooting. So let's talk about the first 2 cameras, so the wide angle and the super wide angle. They are both like 50 megapixel and they are pretty much the same cameras. I mean, they have like the same resolution, the same color science, and the same dynamic range. So if you are switching between the 2, you're not gonna notice any difference like in the most of the phones right now. And that is a very good thing to have. And with these 2 cameras, we can take actually great photos. As I said, we have good dynamic range and good colors. So compared to my previous experience on the other OnePlus that I had, this one is for sure a step ahead of them. Just one problem that I had in my experience with this phone, and I don't know if it's a software thing or maybe an hardware thing, but sometimes it cannot expose the photos very well, and the photos came out like a little bit overexposed. But it was like a very sunny day, so I don't know if it's that or maybe just the software that it isn't actually very, we can say, stable at the moment. So, and sometimes also you can see in some photos we have like difficult background, maybe with so many things in the background, and so it has some struggles with blurring the background. It just seems maybe too fake, and it wasn't too soft of a blur, but that's just some minor things. Then the tele-lens is pretty good. Actually, you can do some decent shots with it, but it is not a great lens. It is too much soft for me, and so it is not too sharp, and sometimes with maybe poor light the shots came out very, very soft. But anyway, you have an optic zoom that comes very handy in many situations, and for the most of the times it is better than the most of digital zoom on maybe other phones. And of course, we have also the front-facing camera that you have seen at the beginning of this video. It is, as I said, a 16 megapixel camera, and I think it is in line with every other camera on every other phone. So nothing too special, a little bit soft right here also, and it is not too much clear of a camera, but it does the job. And here, of course, it depends mostly on how much light you have, because it's a very, very small sensor on the front of the phone. But let's talk about a little bit of the Hasselblad collaboration with OnePlus. And I don't know if you know this, but Hasselblad just didn't make any lens or any hardware stuff for this OnePlus 9 Pro or the normal OnePlus 9, but they just shared, we can say, and they just worked together for a better experience on these phone cameras. They worked for a better color science and a realistic maybe color science on this phone. And so the question is it really a good collaboration, or maybe it's just some kind of a bait that they put maybe only the name on the phone, so the brand, and then the performance are very bad? Well, with the main sensor and also with the super wide lens, you can shoot very great pics, and sometimes the fact that you have this super wide angle lens is very, very useful, because it is not bad like in the most of the phones right now, because maybe it has less megapixel, it has like another color science or another dynamic range, but here it helps very much because you can switch between the lenses, especially if you are shooting in low light. This helps very much because you can take like very decent shot also with the super wide angle finally, because if you compare it to other phones, when you're shooting in the night or maybe with a poor light, this shot with the super wide angle are very, very bad in my opinion. So this one, it is indeed a step forward for OnePlus, talking about the camera side, because it was always a minus for OnePlus and this time it actually got better. Only one thing that I've noticed with the super wide angle is that it actually struggles a little bit with white balance. And if you can notice in the photos that I've took right here, you can see that the super wide angle shots are a little bit warmer than the wide angle, the normal wide angle, so the main sensor. And I've seen that in many photos, so I don't know, it's probably a software problem that it could be updated in the future. Also, one thing that you have to keep in mind is, I think that I have experience on this phone, is that when you want to shoot with the phone upside down, maybe to do a particular shot or maybe something like that, so you put your phone like this and you want to shoot, the photo up just remains in landscape mode, so the photo will be just rotated by 90 degrees, and that is not a problem, but it's just an issue maybe from software. You have of course any other modes that you can find in every phone, and you have the automatic macro mode, so when you get closer to an object, the phone just switches automatically to the macro mode, and this is very useful sometimes. You can also shoot in RAW if you want, for the professional maybe, and also you can see the focus peaking while you're taking your shot. Then for the photo side, I think that's pretty much it. And let's talk about a little bit of video side if you are interested to that too. So on the video side, it's pretty much the same story as the photo side. So for color accuracy and maybe dynamic range. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on this side because the main focus of this phone, of course, it is the photo side. So here we can record up to 8K like many of the top camera phone can do right now. And also we have a special thing that I think this is the only one that can do that, at least that I know right now. And you can shoot also in 4K 120 FPS. So Filmmaker will be happy to use these extra frames to do some epic slow motion. And like me, of course, because I like very much slow motion. And this mode, of course, it is not stabilized. Instead, if you use pretty much any other mode, you have some OIS, so stabilization on every lens. So you can shoot pretty much while you're walking without noticing too much shakiness. A good thing that we have right here is that you can switch cameras while you're recording your videos. And it is very much useful. And I think you can do it also in other phones, but mainly you can never do that without like stopping your videos. One more weird thing that I found on this phone, maybe someone can just tell me the reason of that, is that while you're shooting the videos, and as I said before, you can switch between lenses, you can switch to ultra wide, but you cannot switch to the 3.3x zoom, but you can only do 2x. So I don't know why is that. You can go, of course, up to 8x with the digital zoom, but I don't know why you cannot use the 3.3 lens. Keep in mind also that if you are shooting in Ultra HD, you can just shoot up to 5 minutes, so no more than that, because I don't know, maybe for overheating or maybe just for other reason that I don't know. You can shoot HDR like most of the phone. You can shoot in steady mode, so the phone will do just a recording in 1080p at 30 fps, but it will be very steady, so it will be with optic stabilization and also electronic stabilization, so it would be like as it was on a gimbal. And also you can use night mode, so you can shoot with low light condition like night mode on the photo side, but you can do it also on the video side, and this comes very handy sometimes. So the stabilization on this phone is pretty much good, but I've seen some better phones. I don't know why, but sometimes you can see some shakiness while you're walking pretty much, and I don't know if it's fixable in the future, but it is there, keep that in mind. So I think also for the video side and for my experience, that is it. So I'm gonna throw some conclusion on this phone and the camera experience. So I'm gonna tell you definitely if the Hasselblad collaboration is a good thing or maybe it's just a bait. And for me personally, it is like a good thing, but I was expecting a little bit more, especially in a photo side. But as I said before, it is a good step forward for OnePlus, because if you compare these photos with the older model, at least in my experience, it is a good step forward. But you have to consider also that OnePlus did the partnership with Hasselblad for 3 years. So this year, I think it was just maybe a test to see how far they can go with that much time, but maybe in the next years we can see maybe some better results in the camera department, maybe some more cooperation from Hasselblad and stuff like that. So they have so much time to improve their game, and so we will see that. Anyway, as I said also in my latest video, if you want the best OnePlus experience with a good camera, of course you have to choose this one, because it is the best of the best. But if you wanted a camera phone, I think, at least in my opinion, I repeat, it is not this one. And so I think you can find like better results with the same or maybe less price. So keep searching on that. Maybe you can go for Samsung or maybe another brand that shoots like better photos, or maybe you are interested in video, so you go in another direction. But anyway, I think for me that's it. So if you need some more information, just let me know down below in the comments, and I will try to answer to all of your questions. And if you like this video, just hit a like button, because it will be very much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed already, just consider doing it right now, because it will help this channel to grow and it will be very great. And so I think for now that's it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.